everyone, so welcome to another Vlogidays video, and yes, the hat is here. Anyway, so this is, as you can tell by the title, is my Q&A video. So I put out a video, it's quite a while ago, especially since whenever this is going to be posted, it's going to be really quite a while ago. I told you guys it was going to be for Vlogidays. So asking for questions, and I have not prepared ahead of time, but I did email them to myself, so I'm reading them on my screen down here. So if I'm looking down, that's what it is. And I think I got quite a few questions, so hopefully and I did prepare ahead of time, so I don't know what the questions are. I just copied and pasted them to I'm having issues with my hat. I copied and pasted the questions into an email to myself and then emailed them. That way I could see who sent them and answer your questions. So let's get started. The first one is from Enza Giridetti. I think that's how you pronounce that. Sorry, Enza. I don't even know if I'm saying your first name right. She has been, I think since day one, has been just a wonderful subscriber and just such a supporter. And so thank you. I just appreciate it. And I'm so glad you were my first post on here, my first question. So that makes me happy. Anyway, she says, hi, I seem to ask the same question of everyone who does a Q&A. It's my favorite question. Here goes. It's a two-part. She says, I hope that's okay. Of course it's okay. What advice would you give someone who would like to start vlogging? Also, you have some older kids like I do. What do they think about you being on YouTube? Now, I did hear that she started a channel, so I'm going to go look for her channel, and I will link it down below if she doesn't mind. I'm sure she won't if she's just starting out. So, what advice would you give someone who would like to start vlogging? Just do it. I have been a YouTube watcher for, gosh, long time. And, it's funny because I never thought that I would, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable here. I never thought that I would ever start a channel. And, so it wasn't until I started Weight Watchers and I started watching the Weight Watchers specific videos, and then I started thinking, I would like to do that, but I don't know, I just couldn't do it. And so then I started like talking to some of the Weight Watcher people who had YouTube on Instagram, and Erin from Erin's Weight Watcher Journey, and I really need to look up her channel name because I'm always talking about her, but then I can't ever say exactly what her channel name is. But anyway, she was one of the first ones that I found. Her and Mrs. Kristen G and Trish, I can't remember her channel name, but she doesn't do YouTube anymore. And another person I can't remember. Anyways, they were the first ones that I had found, and so I started talking to them on Instagram. And then Weight Watchers with Jessie, she was one of the other first ones that I found. And I started talking to all of them on Instagram, and then it was actually kind of Erin that kind of encouraged me to do it. And then I wasn't going to do it, and then one day I decided I'm just going to film a grocery haul. So that's the first thing I filmed. That's my very first video, is a grocery haul, because I couldn't even fathom like showing my face and talking face to face. So I did the grocery haul, and I was like, this isn't so bad. And so I just went from there. But you just had to stick with it. Just do it. And don't worry about how many subscribers you have and how many views you have, and because it'll come naturally. Just do it because it makes you feel good, and it makes me feel accountable for what I'm doing. And I was not nervous at all, and I'm a very shy person and a very reserved and kind of introverted person, and so it's so much easier just to talk to a camera. I don't know. So my advice would be just to do it. You just have to do it. You just have to break that ice the first time, and then it'll just start coming naturally to you. Have older kids like I do. What do they think about? They don't care, but they don't want to be in the videos. And maybe after time, maybe they'll change their mind. My 16-year-old especially, my stepson doesn't really actually say much about it at all. I mean, I think he thinks it's kind of cool, but he, probably wouldn't tell me that. But, I think, they think it's a neat thing, and I don't know, they may secretly watch my videos. I don't know, but I don't think they do. But it'd be nice to know if they did. But maybe one day I'll get them in a video. But my 16-year-old's just like, no, Mom, I don't want to be in the video. But maybe we'll change his mind eventually. One of his friends subscribes to me and watches my videos, so that's kind of funny too. But because he told, I think it's a her, told her about it. But I don't think your kids would be upset about it. But I respect my kids' wishes to not be in there. But those are the two that are home. Now, the two that, you know, were 21 and 24, they don't live here, obviously. They live in their own homes. They probably would be on video, knowing them, because they're a lot more outgoing, and that's just how they are. And so I don't know. We'll see. You may have already seen them in Thanksgiving video. I'm not sure, because I'm filming this before Thanksgiving. So anyway, but don't let that discourage you. Just do it. Your family will get used to it. And now next question is from Crystal's Weight Watcher Adventure. And Crystal also has been, I've seen her name since the very beginning also. And she is so supportive and motivating. And I love you, Crystal. She says, what are your favorite hobbies? That's the first question. She has 2 questions. 2 or 3. Yeah, 2. My favorite hobbies. So I love to read. I like to do puzzles, like jigsaw puzzles. I actually do one at work. We have a big table up in the break room, and I just got finished with one, and so I'm kind of taking a break from it because it took me a while to finish it, because I only have enough to eat, and then I work on it while I'm sitting there, and it helps. I noticed that I used to read, but I noticed doing the puzzles, I don't know, it's kind of a de-stressor for my brain. So I like to do that. I like to do beading. I make bracelets and like charms, and I haven't done necklaces yet, but there's a couple I've looked at. I like to do that kind of stuff. Now YouTube has definitely been my favorite hobby so far. I love editing videos. I love making the videos and trying to come up with content. I'm having a lot of fun. It's actually taking over my hobbies, really, pretty much. But reading is a big passion of mine. And I do that mostly at night, because it's hard for me to sit there and read like at night on the sofa when my husband's like watching his shows on TV. And so I read after we go to bed. So we go to bed pretty early because he has to get up so early in the morning. So I read while we're in bed, and I read on my Kindle. And yeah, so those are my hobbies. And then she says, when you reach your goal weight, what is the first thing you're going to do? Buy, etc. Clothes. Really. I mean, right now, all the clothes I buy a lot of my stuff from Goodwill. Just because especially my shirt sizes are changed drastically, and I just don't have the money to be able to go buy clothes and then have to buy them again the next week and the next week and the next week. But there for a while, I was noticing my bigger clothes was just starting to look horrible, and I have to look professional at work. And so I just, would go to Goodwill and just buy clothes. Or I also sew. That's also another hobby, is sewing. And the shirts that are easy to alter, I just was altering my clothes that I had. So my plan is, when I get to goal weight and to the size I want to get, I'm going to buy a whole new wardrobe. And I may have to do it slowly, because I'm not going to have the money to do that, of course. But I think, my main thing I want to do is like buy something that's not like from like Walmart or Kmart, 'cause that's all I have here in Fred Meyer. I want to buy like maybe something, that's more like trendy and name brand, a couple things like that, just so I can have them because they fit me, because it's hard to fit those in plus size. And I'm, and even now that I'm not in technically plus size, still, I want to wait until I'm to that goal weight. So that is the thing, because I like clothes. Next question is from Amanda Sippert. I don't know how you say that, but again, another loyal subscriber. She says, do you reward yourself for achieving your weight loss related goals? In the beginning of my weight loss, I would reward myself with food, but have realized food is not a good reward for me. I am trying to create good lifestyle habits, not go back to the same habits. That is great advice, Amanda. I haven't really rewarded myself too much. And we actually did a whole video on Subscriber Sunday on rewarding yourself. And I said I was going to start doing it, but I didn't really. Again, like her, I kind of would do it with food, and it would kind of be like this huge loss, and it's like, okay, I'm just not going to track today. I'm just going to eat whatever I want. But then I didn't feel good afterwards. I think, for me, so far I haven't had to reward myself to get to goal. I know some people, it's kind of a motivator, but for me, so far I don't need that. The motivation I get is from doing YouTube and from the videos and being able to share this with you guys. And so no, I don't really reward myself, but I don't discourage it. I think it does help people quite a bit to do so. The next one is from Weight Watchers with Heather. And it says, I'd love to hear how you met your husband and a little more about your family. So we have a good story, actually. So I met my husband. We've been married for 10 years in September. I was married before when I was very young. So, and then I was in another long-term relationship in between that before I met my husband. And so this was kind of like the later in life thing because let's see, if it was 10 years ago, I was 31 when we met actually. And so, sorry, my questions went away. There they go. And anyway, we actually met online, but it wasn't through one of those, like Match.com things or dating websites. So that's what makes it more interesting because I know like nowadays it's like everybody meets online. This was actually through a video game. So I love The Sims and I actually have all the Sims. I even have the newest Sims game. I just don't have a lot of time to play it. But they used to have a Sims online game and I had played that and I hadn't been on it for very long and I met him and he actually normally would never play that game. He was more into like the, shooting games and that kind of thing. But his son or something had the Sims online and he had, told him, you should play it. So he had played it one day and we had met. And so that was around August, September or so, I believe, of, what year would that have been? 2005. Yeah, 2005. And I had just got out of the relationship with my younger son's dad. And we actually were kind of going back and forth at the time. And then I met my husband. His name is Joe. And we started talking, and he was actually going through a divorce at the time as well. But the problem was he lived in Oklahoma and I live in Oregon. And so we just talked. And I think it was and we started talking on the phone. And then it was like November and we talked about more like making it serious. So it was very quick. So it kind of went from just casual talking to like, okay, we really want to be together type talking. And he just told me, he's like, I can move there. And because we talked about that, who would move where. But my kids were younger. Because he's older than me and he's 10 years older than me. Actually, technically 9 and some change older than me. So at the time, he had one son that already graduated from high school, a daughter who's getting ready to graduate from high school, and then his son that lives with us, that at the time was 9, I believe, 10, I think it was 10. And then 9 maybe, I don't know. Anyway, you get the gist. And so my kids all were really young though. And so he said, well, I'll just move there. And so we made the plans in like November. And he moved here on January 20th, 2006. And he just packed up and drove here and moved his whole life here. And then a year after that, his son moved here and lived with us. And he's been with us ever since. And yeah, so that's how we met. We met on a video game online. So yeah, so it's kind of an interesting story. As far as she said, and a little more about your family. So I have a 24-year-old son and a 21-year-old son with my first husband. We were married at 18, and so I have those two boys, and then my youngest son who is 16. And then again, my stepson lives with us and he is 18. And then no, he's 19. And then the 2 older stepkids, but they've never lived with us because they were already older. Anyway, so that is my family. I also have a younger sister and a younger brother. My brother is actually 6 months younger than my son, than my oldest son. So he's 20, he just turned 24. And then my sister is 34. So we're all 10 years apart as far as age between each other, but me and my brother have never lived in the same home together because obviously I already had moved out of my home. I moved out of my home when I was 17. And then, yeah, so there's that. And then I have my mom and dad. But my dad is my stepdad. but he has raised me since I was 4, and my biological father I really didn't know very well, and I did meet him a couple times, but he has since passed. And I can go more into that. Should be a whole like other like type video, but and I don't have any living grandparents from my biological dad's side or my mom's side, but from my stepdad, who I call my dad because he is my dad. I do have a grandmother. That's only living grandparents that I have. I have an uncle, and I have an aunt and an uncle. I have an uncle on my mom's side and an aunt uncle on my dad's side, my stepdad's side. And I do have an aunt on my biological dad's side who I found online when I was searching for him. And so, yeah, so there's my family. And my husband is a log truck driver, which you guys know, most of you know from watching. And my kids my son's still in high school, and my stepson's still trying to find a job. It's hard to find jobs around here, especially for young kids, because the unemployment rate here is so high that a lot of the jobs go to adults that normally would go to kids. So anyway, so that's my family. And if you want to know anything else, just ask down below that I didn't go into. Then I have a question from, this video is going to be long, I'm sorry, I guess Q&As usually are. So it's from Giselle's Beyond the Scale Weight Loss Journey. And she does have a channel because I subscribe to her. She says, where do you live? How old are you? What was your starting weight? And what would you like to weigh? So I live in Oregon. I live in Southern Oregon, very rural area. The town itself, like the actual like main city proper, I think has about 23,000. Then I live about 9 miles out of the main city, and so the area we live in has probably another like 6,000 people. But this county, the county itself has a little over 107,000 that I live in, but the towns are really close together. I mean, it's like you go 10 miles and you're in another town, you go another 10 miles over here and you're in another town, and they're all just really small towns. We live in a very rural area. What else? Oh, so I live about, to kind of give you of like a concept of like where I live. Portland is of course the main, like the largest city in Oregon. I live about 3 hours south of Portland. And then the state capital is in Salem, and I live about 2-ish hours, about 2.5 hours, 2 hours away from Salem. How old are you? I am 42. What was your starting weight? If you're okay to mention it. I have no problem mentioning it. My starting weight with Weight Watchers was 234.4, but my starting weight of this weight loss journey, the heaviest that I have documented, which was through a doctor's appointment, was 280 pounds. And that's when I decided to go on a journey. And that was back in 2013. And then I did get down to 195 and then gained it back. And that's when I started Weight Watchers. And what would you like to weigh? My first goal weight is 150. I am 5'5". I have a very small frame, meaning like if you were to like look at my wrists, which in video doesn't really show up, I have very, very small wrists. So I have a very small frame, and I think it just depends on the person and what their weight should be. You know, I think depending on their frame and their size and how they look. 150, and then I'm going to go from there, because I think that I remember when I was in high school, before I got pregnant with my son, and I was in high school when I got pregnant with my oldest, I was 130 pounds and I felt heavy. I mean, I didn't look really super thin. At least I didn't think I did, but I was like a size like 10 in pants, which I think sizes have changed a lot over the years as far as pants. But anyway, so I think they'll probably go lower than 150, but that is my goal weight with Weight Watchers right now. And we'll just go from there and see what happens. But that is my first goal weight. The next one's from Linda Wiley, which another great subscriber who's always comments on my videos, and I appreciate her support so much. She says, what does your husband think about you vlogging? Does he watch your vlogs? He doesn't watch my vlogs, and I think it's because I ask him not to. Only because I'm really self-conscious, and I'm getting better about it. Like, I actually did show him my first few vlogs to kind of get, and to have him, because he's very honest, and I knew I could get him to honestly tell me how I was doing and how the vlogs were. And so he watched those ones, and as far as I know, he doesn't watch any of the other ones just because he knows that I feel so self-conscious. But I'm feeling better now about that stuff, so I don't care anymore. But he loves seeing me do something like this because he knows I am kind of a shy or self-conscious person, and he sees that this is really helping me feel better about myself. And he likes that he loves it when I find a hobby to do, and he always tells me he's really proud of me for doing it, and he just loves it. He loves that I'm doing something for myself. He's very, very supportive of anything I do, but he has been very supportive of YouTube. Next one's from Motivated Bears, and they have a channel as well. It's a husband and wife, and they have a channel, so I will link them down below. I'm trying to remember to link anybody who has a channel like Giselle, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I will link their channels down below since they were nice enough to ask questions. Motivated Bears, what are your goals going to be in 2017? Also, what are the biggest NSV you've had? She says, I am starting a channel and would like to know how to get my name out there. So my goals, I don't know yet. I actually need to put that on my Vlogidays list to do 2017 goals. Thank you. Thank you for, I think her name is Kelly. I'm sorry. I'm so bad with names, you guys. I'm even bad with names in real life. I mean, it's not that this isn't real life, but you know what I mean? Like at work, like I am, and I'm in human resources. I need to make sure I know people's names, and I'm getting better, but it's so bad. I'll recognize a person's face and I cannot place a name. I am so bad, but I'm pretty sure her name is Kelly. And I'm sorry if I'm wrong, and I will make sure I correct that. Anyway, so I don't know what my goals are going to be yet, but I will do a whole video on that. You know, it also is going to depend on where I'm at the end of the year, because my goal is to get down to 190 by the end of the year. And so it's really going to depend on where I'm at that point. But I think it's just going to be it'll probably be to increase my exercise, because I'm horrible at that, you guys. So I'm going to have to make myself some kind of challenge for January. We are starting a wellness thing at work, and we're actually calling January the month of healthy habits. So I might kind of piggyback on that, kind of steal that idea from my boss at work, because that's what she thought of. And so I may I've actually thought about doing kind of monthly themes for my channel starting in 2017. So I don't know. I'm kind of throwing out some ideas. She says, what is your biggest NSV you've had? Probably going down in size, because it takes me a very, very, very long time to actually go down in a size, especially in pants. Because when I very first started, like the journey, very beginning, I was a size 24. When I started Weight Watchers, I was a size 20. And then I finally went down to 18, and I didn't go down to a 16 until I lost almost 40 pounds. No, I mean 35 pounds. And then, you know, it's like, and I think right now I'm between a 14 and a 16. And so those so far. And then I kind of had one this week, and this is kind of silly. So I was sitting there at work, and I was going like this. I was just like, sorry, on my bra strap. I was kind of my neck scratching. I was like, I have a collarbone. Like, and I don't know, you can't see it, but I was like thinking, when's the last time I've had a collarbone? And then, you know, because I could feel it. It's there. And I could not stop touching it. It was like the most ridiculous thing. I don't know, you guys. I know you guys would understand because you're on this journey, but like seriously, like I could not stop touching my collarbone. And for me, that's an NSV. It really is. I mean, because you forget things like having a collarbone until you have one. And it's just like, oh, sorry again. I don't know. I can really feel it. And that's just, yeah. So things like that. And you know, when your face gets kind of thinner, I mean, for me, those are the things that I've had, you know, just physical changes versus the scale going down. Because we all know the scale is just a tool. But when you have those physical changes, are always the best non-scale victories. And then she asks about how to get her name out there. Just go. Instagram is a great way too. Just always, you know, talk about your channel on there, post motivational messages, post that you have videos. Just comment on other people's videos. Just be supportive and motivating to other people. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. And content, make sure you just are consistent with the content, especially in the beginning. I think that's probably the best advice I can give, is just be consistent. I think once you've been out there a while, if for some reason you can't do, I just love this little ball again, sorry. But once you, once you kind of are established, if for some reason you have to take a break because of work or you have a vacation or something, I think that's okay. But I think you need to try to time starting your channel around a time that you have time to put content up. And that's what I did. I was in May and June, I had only to work 4 days weeks for a while. So I had, you know, a whole day at Fridays that my family wouldn't be here and I would be off work. And that's when I started doing it, when I had some time. And then through the summer, same way, I had Fridays off. But then I thought, how am I going to do this when I'm working 5 days a week? And I've managed to do it. But I was in a habit by then. And so it was helpful. So that's my biggest advice, is to make sure you're doing it when you have time to do it and just be consistent with your content. Next question is from Lisa Bachelet. And she says one more question. So there must be another question down here from her that is probably out of order. What Weight Watcher vlogs do you routinely watch? Oh my gosh, there's so many. You guys, I subscribe to like 300 people, and I feel bad unsubscribing from people. So what I do when I clean up my subscription list is I go through and I look, if somebody hasn't posted a video in like weeks, I will unsubscribe from them. But I just feel bad unsubscribing from people. But as far as Weight Watcher vlogs, I don't want to leave anybody out. I feel so bad. So routinely, and I'm not even kidding, these are ones I watch every single day. I just may sometimes have to catch up on their videos. But I watch Weight Watchers with Jessie, Amber's Weight Watchers Adventure, WW Wifey, Motivated Muffins, Weight Watchers with Heather, Erin's weight loss journey, Simply Gina, Blessed Jess. She doesn't, I mean, she does Weight Watchers now, but before she wasn't doing Weight Watchers, but she is doing Weight Watchers now. But I was watching her even before. Oh my gosh, I know there's so many more out there. And oh, Transforming Melody, of course. There's so many. I mean, and like I said, I feel bad if I leave. Oh, Leah Teresa. I think that's the name of her channel. I don't know. I love her, and I love her little boy. It's just so adorable. So I love her videos, and my gosh, you guys, there's so many. And then there's so many subscribers that have videos that I have been watching, and yeah. Oh, and then Diva and the Divine, Brianna, she does Weight Watchers, but her videos are really varied as well, and that's why I love her channel too, because she has so many different things. But she does Weight Watchers, and she's done it for a long time, and she's been successful, and I love her videos. So good. Her voice is amazing too. She sings. Anyway, I know there's other people, and I'm sorry if I forgot you, but I watch a lot. A lot of the Weight Watchers stuff. Pretty much if anybody has a Weight Watchers channel out there. Oh, Fit and Fabulous Mamas. Of course, I watch them. Lori and Kim, they are amazing. They're one of the first ones I started watching. And Mrs. Kristen G. Oh my God. See, I knew I would like forget people's names, and I didn't prepare ahead of time if I did, but I watch all you guys. But you guys know I comment on your videos. So anyway, and I know I'm missing somebody else. See, I hate this. M from M Fit Fam. See, you guys, I don't like questions. I mean, I don't mind your question, Lisa. Sorry, I don't want to say I don't like your question. But, I mean, I don't want to, like, forget people. I just feel bad. So, but I do routinely watch all of them. There's, like, I think, like, 15 channels, 15 to 20 channels that I watch, like, every day, whether it's just in the background at work or at lunchtime or in the morning when I'm getting ready for work, when I'm making my lunch. So, they're all going constantly. Build Your Home. What is your, and they always, yeah. You're also one of my loyal subscribers, and I appreciate you. What is your most favorite food of all time, sweet and savory? How did you know Weight Watchers was the plan for you? How did you and your husband meet? Would he ever do a couples tag video with you? Okay, so what is your favorite food of all time? So if we're talking like favorite food, non-Weight Watchers food, savory is really the things that I crave and like the most, and it can be anything Mexican food. I adore Mexican food. I could eat it every single day. I love it. I also love pizza, but Mexican food probably tops pizza. Sweet, you know, I don't crave sweet as much as I do savory. I could actually do without sweet, but I do like muffins and cakes and cookies. Yeah, I really do. How did you know Weight Watchers was the plan for you? Well, I didn't at first. I had tried so many things, you know, low carb. I did the HCG diet. I did counting calories, which counting calories I really liked, but it's like I almost need somebody to tell me what to do. And so counting calories, it was me saying, okay, I'm going to eat 1,600 calories a day. I'm going to keep my carbs at this. I'm going to do my macros at this. I wasn't having anybody telling me to do that. Weight Watchers, there's somebody telling me I have to eat this many points, and that's why it works for me. But I like it because it's a lifestyle. You can eat whatever you want as long as it's in your points, and you just have to be, you know, strategic about it. You have to be smart about it, and you don't have to give up your foods, your favorite foods. So that's how I knew it was the best for me, and I would advocate for it anytime for anyone. I already answered the question, how do you and your husband meet? Would he ever do a couples tag video with you? I don't know. Right now, no, probably not. But in the future, I probably could talk him into it. So it might be a while, but we'll see. We'll see. And Jennifer Herman, where do you get your inspiration from for recipes? She has several questions, so we'll just do this one first. Mostly Pinterest, and then I have some specific things that I like. Skinny Taste, Skinny Mom. What is some of the other ones that Emily Bites. So I just routinely check their blogs and look for recipes. And I subscribe to them on Instagram. So Instagram's also another one, but mostly Pinterest is probably I love Pinterest. Is like my favorite place to be. It's like housewife porn, I swear. Sorry if that offends anyone, but I love it so much. But my boards are a mess. I really need to fix them because there's so many recipes on there. Anyway, so that's definitely my inspiration. What is your schedule for your week? For example, meal planning, meal prep, YouTube videos, etc. So most of you have seen like my planner videos, which I haven't done any for a while because I've been so busy. So meal planning, I try to do my meal plan throughout the whole week, but Thursdays, I really try to sit down and narrow it down, what I'm going to do. Fridays, I do my grocery list, clean out my refrigerator, clean out my freezers, make sure I cross off things that I don't need, because what I'll do is write down all the ingredients I need for my meals for the week and for my lunches and breakfast and things my husband needs. And then I just cross off what I already have on Fridays, and then I do my final list on Fridays, do my grocery shopping on Saturdays. I do my plan for my YouTube videos. I just do live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, my what I ate videos. I pre-record everything on Saturdays and Sundays for the whole week. So Saturdays, usually I'll record a little bit of meal prep stuff that I do on Saturday, because I do my meal prep Saturdays and Sundays. So I'll record some on Saturdays. And then Saturday I also do my grocery haul video. Sundays I do every other video. So I do Subscriber Sunday, I do my recipes, my Pinterest, the rest of my meal prep, all that's done on Sundays. And then I just schedule them through YouTube to go up throughout the whole week. Who do you watch on YouTube? So I already went through that. Went through the Weight Watcher ones. I also watch some makeup videos. I watch some other like housewife type videos. So like the makeup ones, I really only watch Emily Noel. It's pretty much only one I watch now. I like, I don't remember her last name. It's Jessica something with a B. I can never remember her last name, but I like her. Like she does a lot of drugstore reviews. Emily Noel, I like her tutorials. She's really good. I used to subscribe to only makeup, but then I found the Weight Watchers, and then I also discovered BookTube. I don't know if you guys know those. I love to read, and so there are a lot of book-related videos that I watch, and it's just like they do hauls and they do you know, like reviews on books and you know, all that kind of stuff. Gives me lots of ideas for books, so I like to watch those as well. Gosh, I couldn't even tell you their names on there because I haven't been able to watch a lot of them in a while. So Peruse Project, she does a lot of historical fiction, which is one of my favorite genres. And then Chapter Stacks, she also said my second favorite genre, which is thriller and horror. And so I watch them consistently they come up in my feed. The other ones I usually have to go back and watch when I have time. Bookables, she does a lot of When I'm in the mood for contemporary, I watch hers. And so that's where I get my inspiration for my books to read. Next question from Jennifer. When you're trying to stay on plan and reach your goals, how do you handle unsupportive friends, people, temptations? I have not encountered any unsupportive friends or people, so I can't answer to that. Temptations, I just bring a lot of snacks to work because work is the place where it's a temptation. And what I'll do is I bring a lot of snacks to work, but if it's in something that I can just have a sliver of, usually that satisfies me. Just having one bite will satisfy me. So that's what I do. Either take a bite or I just ignore it completely and I have one of my snacks that I bring. That's why you'll see so many snacks in my What I Eat videos, is because I try to load up on the snacks and that way in case I need them. But I usually end up bringing half of them back or I just leave them at my desk. What is your plan for when you are in a situation that you know includes your weakness, temptation, and how do you handle not giving in to eating, drinking when others are around you? Well, the drinking thing I don't have to worry about because I don't drink if you're talking about alcohol. And then I just drink diet soda or water. As far as not giving in when I eat, I don't know. I feel like I kind of went through this in another video about just making sure that I fill up on high protein foods before I go to the event. And then I just don't, in a way, I don't deny myself. So I know if I've eaten good all day and I leave myself enough points to indulge in something, I just make sure I pick something that is worth it. So, you know, and it's just like I just don't indulge in all of it. I just pick one thing. Also, if there's an event that I can bring a dish to, that's what I would do. I would bring a couple dishes if it's something that the host doesn't mind doing. And, you know, if I just volunteer, can I bring a couple dishes to help you out? And that's a tip that I have too. So, you know, you bring your dish and then you know you at least have 2 dishes that you can eat. And if you can make one possibly a dessert, then you're golden. You know, you have that dessert that you can eat. So those are my tips on that. Okay, now from Tammy. Tammy has been around since the beginning too. And she goes, hi, I would like to know, how do you handle family gatherings and eating out? So I kind of already answered that. As far as eating out, I usually plan an eat out day at least twice a month. Kind of a date night. Usually one of those is a date night with my husband, and I just don't count because I want to have a good time and I just don't count. It's just a choice I make. We have those weeklies. I hardly ever use all of my weeklies. So if I know that it's there's 2 times a month that we go out to eat, I just figure I'm going to use my 42 weeklies and then I just eat sensibly throughout the day. And so I don't worry about it. And then the other eat out weekend is when it's the whole family. We go out as a whole family, and like we did that like last night, and you know, I just didn't count. Again, I ate really sensibly throughout the day, and I drank a lot of water throughout the day, and I just didn't worry about it. And I still made the best choices that I can make, but I wasn't worrying about every bite I put into my mouth because I didn't want to stress myself out. I just also don't want to put a damper on the evening. So that's just my own personal thing, but I think you have to do what you want to do, but don't make yourself feel guilty about one day that you choose to not, you know, eat right. But if it's a family gathering, again, you can bring your own dish. You can ask if you can help out with the meals and bring a couple dishes. So I think with family gatherings, that's a lot easier to do. She says, I do real well if I stay home and prepare my own food, but if I go to a family house, I have trouble staying in points. Also, how do you keep from eating the food you prepare for your family since you have to prepare separate meals? I just make sure my meals are something I really want. And that, in the beginning, would be a little bit hard when it came to things, because things like my husband likes, it's like chicken fried steak, you know, and it was one of my favorite meals at one time. But now I don't miss it. And I think it's because I make sure I come up with recipes and dinners for my meals that I don't mind not having. So, you know, I just make sure they're yummy with lots of spices, lots of flavor. And that's what I suggest. Just make sure your meals are creative. Be creative about them. Make sure there's something that you are not missing the other meals. Next one from Kim O'Donnell. I see her name a lot too. She says, I noticed on your Plan With Me videos that you sometimes have to make a separate Weight Watchers meal for yourself and one for your family. Even with some meal prep ahead, I would think that would take some time to prepare, especially after working all day. How do you handle those meals? I'd love to see more of your family in your videos. You live near family. Thanks for taking time to read my questions. You're an inspiration to me. Thank you. I've lost 10 pounds in 2 months using Weight Watchers. Amazing. That is so wonderful, Kim. Meal prep, it really does help. And I think it's just that I try to make sure at least one or the other one of the meals is completely made ahead of time. So I know if something takes ground beef or ground turkey, I just cook it. Like if it's something like sloppy joe, and I try to make them similar as possible. So if I'm having turkey sloppy joes and because my husband can't eat poultry, so if I'm having turkey sloppy joes, he's having beef sloppy joes, I just make it all in my meal prep. But then I can just use the same sauce because I just make a healthy sauce to go along with it. So I'm just checking the time. I just make, so I just make the big batch of the sauce, but then I can split up the meat. So there's an example with that. But I just try to plan as many meals as I can that are similar. So if I want salad for the night and I do like say a chef salad, then he can do a chef salad. Yeah. So, I mean, I just try to make sure at least one of the meals is completely prepared, or I try to do something that's like a slow cooker meal for one, and then that way that's already in the slow cooker and ready to go. Or I have it all prepared and it just needs to go into the oven, like meatloaf or something like that. It really is just about meal prep, and you just have to do it. But I've gotten such habit for me that it's not really that big of a deal. Let's see, and I already talked about kind of my family in the videos. Do you live near family? No, not really. My sister lives in Idaho, and she's about 10 hours away. My parents live about 5 hours away, and my brother lives in the same town as my parents, and my older son lives about 3 hours away, and my middle son lives about 5 hours away. So, no, not really. It's a big state, but a small state. You know what I mean? Yeah, but nowadays with social media and with phones and texting and all that, it doesn't really feel like you're far away. And then my family, we just started using a app that does video texting basically. So especially with my dad going through chemo, they just record while they're in the hospital, and then we can watch it anytime we need to, and we can respond back with videos. So we really don't ever go without seeing each other's faces. And then, oh, here's the other question from Lisa. Where do you find your recipes? So I talked about that from Pinterest mostly. Do you eat all the food you buy each week? Yeah, we really do. I make sure that the perishable stuff, either it goes into the freezer, if it's like meat and everything, if for some reason that recipe doesn't get made, I just throw it into the freezer. The produce, yes, it definitely, especially the fruit, it goes fast in my home between the boys. So apples, the grapes, the bananas, all that is gone very quickly. We eat salads with dinner almost every single night, so all the salad, other produce stuff goes away. If for some reason I don't use like a zucchini, I just either make it into zoodles or I chop it up and I put it in the freezer. They freeze really well. I can't think of really anything. The only thing that we probably ever throw out, sometimes maybe some leftovers. If for some reason it just didn't get eaten throughout the week. My stepson, a lot of times will eat the leftovers for lunch since he's at home. So I need to take a drink, sorry. And then she asked, do you have any problems freezing your food? No, I've never had any problems freezing food. Maybe tell us how you keep going each week. She's like, I burn out after a few months and then lose all progress. YouTube, honestly, I know all you guys can't do that. So that's hard for me to give that to you as a tip, but it has what's kept me going through this whole thing, knowing that having something to do, having something to look forward to. But I would say, like, if you're not a YouTuber, then obviously you need other tips. I would just say, just maybe Instagram, maybe using, I don't know, maybe go to a meeting, go into Weight Watchers meetings. I don't know. I've never gone to meetings because I only do online because I really don't need to because YouTube's kind of my meeting. But maybe just connecting with, with YouTubers or people on Instagram. Start taking pictures of your food every day and just make it consistent that this is something you do and you want to just put it on there. I don't know, with Weight Watchers, I don't burn out because I think it's because I can be kind of, what's the word? You don't have to miss out on everything. And so I think with Weight Watchers, I don't burn out. Now exercise I do burn out of, and I can't tell you about that because I have not even discovered how do I do that with exercise. I'm just, yeah, I guess that's definitely gonna be a 2017 goal. Stephanie Harmon, how much weight have you lost on Weight Watchers and how long has it taken? So I started Weight Watchers the very last week of February. I think around February 23rd, 24th. So this was the pre-filming this. So as of the time of this filming, which was week 40 weigh-in, I've lost 41.2 pounds. And so it's taken me 40 weeks to lose 41.2 pounds. So I think that's about what, one and some change average a week, which is what they say you should lose. So I feel like I'm doing it in a really healthy way, but I've had some gains. I've had some big losses and some big gains and some little gains and little losses. So it's all averaged out, obviously, to a little over a pound a week. Mrs. Kristen G. What field of work are you in? How did you and your husband meet? Well, I already talked about how me and my husband met. What field of work I'm in. I'm an administrative assistant for, it's called an education service district. So it's not really a school district, but we do, the reason why I have some time off is because my particular work schedule is 240 days. So we have winter break and we have spring break, and then we have, a lot of holidays off and all that. So it kind of follows the school district schedule, except with the exception I do work in the summer. Some people don't work in the summer in my office. And some people don't get those other days off either because they work 260 days. But my particular schedule is 240 days. So I'm administrative assistant for the Human Resources Department. And that's my new department that I'm working in. Before I worked in the Early Learning Hub department. But I am really, you guys all know that I'm really happy where I'm at in human resources. It's so much better suited for me, especially with the aspect that I actually get to talk to people and work more with the employees versus just paperwork and figures and spreadsheets all the time. So, I mean, I still have a lot of paperwork that I do, but at least I'm being able to interact with the employees, especially the new ones. I love working with the new employees and showing them, the office and talking about, what a great place it is to work and introducing them to people and all that stuff. So that's what I do. So it's a little bit of everything I do. Administrative assistant pretty much, we do a lot of stuff. Mimi G, she says, you mentioned that you don't like leftovers. Does that mean the rest of the family eats your leftover soups, or do you freeze and eat later? I say this as some of your soups sound so yummy. I hope you're eating them again. Another question. Okay, so let's answer that question first. I do freeze my soup. I freeze them in mason jars, or I put them in like a gallon bag and then lay it flat and freeze it and bring them out when I can. Or sometimes I do them in, I've been doing them more individual servings lately in like quart-sized bags, and then pull them out and then take them to lunch for lunch, or I eat them on the weekends. You guys don't see what I eat on the weekends, and that's when I eat a lot of I don't mind leftover soup. Other leftovers I'm not fond of, but soup I don't have a problem doing. This video is already 47 minutes long, you guys. I'm so sorry. Another question. I don't eat eggs due to intolerance. Any more ideas about baked oatmeal or something similar? I don't know. Is there baked oatmeal out there that doesn't take eggs? I don't know, because I eat a lot of eggs, so I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that, and maybe if I find any recipes, I'll link them down below. Says I only work part-time, but you've really helped me get organized about my eating, which is half the battle. I'm doing meal prep on Sunday nights. Yay, that's so great to hear. Please don't stop. Love your inspirational words. So glad I found you on this journey. Well, I'm glad you found me too. Thank you so much. 2 more questions, you guys. So this one comes from Kim over at Fit and Fabulous Mamas. She says, what is your guilty pleasure, TV show, etc.? Okay, you guys, so I haven't watched a lot of TV since I've been doing YouTube because I'm so busy editing and filming and all that, but I like reality TV, and I never watch things like the Kardashians and stuff, which I purposely don't watch it because I know I'll get sucked in, because I get sucked into reality TV so much. I love the reality TV food cooking shows. That is like my favorite thing. I watch like Top Chef, I watch Food Network Star, I like, I don't remember what all the other food cooking shows. I watch them all. I love them. I love Survivor. I love Big Brother. I like Amazing Race. All that reality show stuff. And then I even like the ones like the MTV ones. I don't know. I know not many people probably watch those that watch my videos, but I really like some of those ones too. Like The Challenge. I've always liked those. That's like the Real World Road Rules old show, like people from those, and I just, yeah, it's just one of those shows that I just don't miss. I mean, I don't like watch it faithfully, but I will, you know, save the shows and I'll go back and watch them later. But yeah, mostly reality TV. But like, I really like, I used to watch, oh, another guilty. So you say guilty pleasure. So I'm going to tell you the ones that I am a Lifetime movie junkie. Like when I had cable, we don't have cable anymore. And so I mainly just watch the ones online, or I watch the ones that are on Netflix or Hulu. I used the Lifetime Movie Network. Yeah. And now Lifetime has like a movie club, and I've really been thinking about joining it because I miss a lot of Lifetime movies, because you can't find a lot of them on those, you know, on those free, like, and Lifetime used to be able to watch some of the shows free. You still can like watch some of their movies free without having a subscription. And yeah, I just love, I know they're so silly. I mean, they're like, not realistic at all, but there are the true based on, I love especially, but I do especially love the ones that are based on true stories. I love crime fiction, not crime fiction. I love true crime. I love true crime, and I even love the true crime books as well. But yeah, so that's probably my biggest guiltiest pleasure is Lifetime movies. I'm a sucker. And then Christmas movies, especially Christmas, Lifetime and Hallmark Christmas movies. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm just a sucker for those. But I do like kind of scary shows. My husband is really into the UFO and ghost shows, and sometimes I get kind of sucked into those. But I'm really not a like documentary type person. But yeah, so those are my guilty pleasures for TV shows. And then Weight Watchers with Heather asked me another question on Instagram, and she's like, I'd love to know why Weight Watchers is your very favorite weight loss program and what inspired you to start Weight Watchers. So YouTube really inspired me to start Weight Watchers. I mean, I kind of went over why I like Weight Watchers as a plan. But yeah, it was definitely YouTube and Instagram, because I started seeing the posts and I was seeing the videos, and that's why I had never tried it before. And so I thought, I'm just going to try it. And I actually first started trying it without paying for it, just to see, you know, what it was about and trying to follow the plan without it, which I don't know, I wasn't inspired by it as much until I started paying for it and I had the app, and so it was mainly YouTube. It really was. YouTube and Instagram really got me going with it, and I'm so glad they did. I'm so appreciated. So I made it under an hour, you guys, 52 minutes. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A video, and I hope it got you to get to know me a little bit better. And I will do more of these in the future, but in the meantime, if you have any other questions, go ahead and ask me down below, and I will be happy to answer them. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you in another Vlogidays video. Bye, everyone!